Low whispering of people could be heard along with the soft background music. The frequency of sound was very less comparing to the count of people present there. The place was calm and classic, maybe it's the main reason of its popularity. The woman in her late 30s was busy admiring the out large glass window. Being ignorant of certain someone whose eyes were stuck only on her since the time she was here. Trying to seek her attention, that certain someone placed his head over his palm, placing his elbow on the table and leaned towards her, staring intensely. A smile broke through her lips, sensing the intention of the man sitting across her. Not wanting to torment him more, she craned her head towards him, giving him her full attention. What? What? What are you looking at so intently? At my world. Heat crept upon her cheeks, tinting a pink shade. She smiled shyly before looking away, making the man chuckle. You are blushing already. We have a long night ahead. The pink shade turned into crimson red. She playfully glared at him. Good. Stop it, Jimin. The former giggled and slided his hand to hold her hand, which was placed on the table. I can't believe I still have the same effect on you, even after 23 years. You are still the same, my shy, beautiful wife. She playfully rolled her eyes before saying, like you changed. You are also the same, my flirty husband. You are still the same dreamy and handsome, my gorgeous husband. Now it was his turn to blush. He cleared his throat, looking away to hide his red cheeks before looking at her again. Happy 23rd anniversary, my love. He brought her hand towards his lips before planting a kiss. Happy 23rd anniversary to you too, my love. She smiled warmly before intertwining their hands together. They sat there in silence, staring at each other with love and adoration. Their love interaction broke with Jimin frowning his eyebrows. Don't you think it's too much? What? She thought she overdid something, but the makeup was light, just some touch up, and dress was not revealing. She was busy checking herself up, but she gasped when he held her chair from the bottom before pulling her closer to himself, a mischievous smile playing on his kissable lips. I was talking about the distance between us. Wine lightly hit his shoulder. You are impossible. Just for you. I want to talk to you. We were talking only, but you were too far away from me. He whined like a kid and Wine face palm. What do you wanna talk about? I wanted to say many things. He took a look of his surroundings and packed her lips. Wine gasped loudly before hitting his shoulder again. You are really shameless. We are in a freaking restaurant. Nobody sighed, and even if someone did, so what? I am kissing my wife. I have full rights. Wine shook her head, being done with her husband. It was a thank you pack. Thank you for coming in my life. Thank you filled with my life with the colors of happiness. After you came in my life, I only stepped up in everything. And most importantly, thank you for giving me a pretty daughter like Hari. I'm really lucky to complete these 20 years with you and still come. Wine was attentively listening to him as his never-ending smile was showing the sincerity of his words. His eyes, which were shining with happiness, depicting the unspoken word of his heart. He was saying that he was lucky to have her, but she knew how lucky she was to have a husband like her. Him, who loves her, cherishes her, adores her, and most importantly, respects her as his wife and as a woman. Jimin, you know you are very sweet, like too much that only your sweet talks can make a person diabetic. It's all because of you. You made me sweet. You know what? How much I am controlling myself and you are sitting here being dangerously beautiful. Oh my god, Jiminy, stop it already. You are making me blush too much. She huffed out, covering her red cheeks with her palms. Tolia, there's long night ahead. He mouthed, smirking at her teasingly. She was a blushing mess. That's when a waiter came with their order. She mentally thanked him, but she also can't deny the fact that she was low-key enjoying this little romantic discourse with her husband. After the waiter left, he again opened his mouth to speak, but before that, Vine placed her finger on his lips, glaring at him. No more talks and let's eat the food in silence, she said, emphasizing the word silence. He grinned before digging in the food. During the dinner, Vine tried her best to avoid her husband, who was staring at her like a hungry wolf. Don't look at me like that. You are looking like a creep, she said without looking at him, peacefully eating her food. He chuckled at her comment. Well, creep or whatever. I am looking at what's mine, she said, glancing at him while he winked at her in return. She choked on the food when he placed his hand on her thigh. He panicked and removed his hand before grabbing the glass of water and made her drink it. He rubbed her back. After calming down, the first thing did was to glare at him now with a stern look, making him gulp. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I wasn't uncomfortable with your touch. It's just you scared me. I'm so sorry. It's okay. Let's finish the food. They both smiled again got back with eating their food. After eating and paying the bills, they were all set to go. They got up from their seats and moved towards the elevator. While waiting for the elevator, Jimin said, Honey, hmm? What I was thinking is how about we book a room and celebrate our anniversary there rather than going home? He said with a smirk on his face only to get a glare in return. No, not at all. We will go home. Hari is home alone. Come on, babe. Hari is not kid anymore. She can take care of herself, and also it's been a long time since we have our private moment together. Just you and me. No. And I remember we have our private moment just day before yesterday. Yeah, it's been 2 long days. Please, babe. I said no, Jimin. He pouted sadly. The elevator came and you both got in. There was nobody else other than her and Jimin. Seeking it as an opportunity, he turned towards her with a smile, whilst he looked at him with raised eyebrows. At least give me a kiss. He puckered his lips in a pout, leaning towards her only for her to step back. He stood there with the same expression, blinking his eyes. She laughed at his reaction, but her laughter died down when he walked away, crossing his arms, sulking at one corner. Jamin, she called him, but he ignored her, looking away, staring at nothing but the wall of elevator. She sighed while moving closer to him, holding his arm gently. Honey, but he didn't budge a little bit. Did I make made you mad? He nodded, still not looking at her. How can I make it up to you? This time he looked at her and again puckered his lips, pointing at them. You want me to kiss you? He nodded, puckering his lips more. God, I can't believe you are a father of 19 years old. Quit talking and do it if you don't want me to be mad at you. I swear I won't make you your morning coffee. No, I'm doing it. She smiled and raised her head and placed her lips on his for a long peck. He too smiled. But before he could turn it into a proper kiss, she pulled back, making him whine. She pointed at the elevator door which just opened. Let's go home. I'll give you more than a kiss. After all, our room is not soundproof just like that. She whispered and pecked his nose tip. Oh my god, honey, you are so shameless. He dramatically said, and his face in his palms. She giggled before moving out while he followed behind. They both got into the car ready to go home. Vine buckled her seatbelt and looked at Jimin only to find him already staring at her with a smirk. What? Don't you want to go home? Can't wait. Then drive. Why are you looking at me? Someone is desperate, I see. Shut up and drive before I change my mind. No, 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 there is no turning back now. I won't let you change your mind even if you want to. He said with a naughty smile before starting the engine, all set to go for their destination. After about 30 minutes, they reached their home. He got out of the car. Whined to go down, but before she could walk further, Jimin jogged towards her and picked her in bridal style, making her gasp. He walked inside. Jimin, what are you doing? Put me down. Nope. Did you forget I took you inside the same way years back? That was different. Put me down, Jimin. What if Hari saw us? It will be really embarrassing. So now that you are a mother, you are embarrassed to be with me. I didn't mean it that way. What will Hari think if she saw us like this? She will think that her father is really romantic and loving towards her mother. I can't win against you. Don't even try, especially in this topic. They both laughed and finally entered inside when Ryan opened the door with. Ryan was looking at her husband's smiling face, which dropped after entering in the living room. Instead, his face gained an angry expression. He put her down. She frowned before looking at where he was looking. Her eyes widened at the scene in front. Her daughter was kissing a boy. Not only kissing, they were basically eating each other's lips. The boy was slightly hovering over her. They were too drawn in each other that they didn't even hear the door opening, nor they noticed Ryan and Jimmy standing there. Their moment broke when Jimmy walked towards them with heavy steps and pulled away the boy while grabbing his collar. Before anyone could process anything, he landed a harsh punch on his face, which caused him to land directly on floor. Ryan's eyes widened while Harry covered her mouth in shock. He again grabbed his collar, pulling him to stand up, but before he could land another punch, Ryan and Harry came for rescue. Ryan tried to pull Jimin away from him while Harry tried to loosen his grip on his collar. Jimin, leave him, what are you doing? No, how dare he kiss my daughter? Dad, leave him. No, Harry, you don't have to be scared now. I am here. I'll teach him a good lesson. Dad, leave him. For God's sake, leave him, Dad. He's my boyfriend. His grip loosened on him before he finally left him. Ryan sighed in relief, but Jimin was still breathing heavily due to anger. He looked at you like you knew about it, while you shook your head, denying as an answer. They both looked at the young couple, and Ryan asked, "You never told us, Harry, that you have a boyfriend." Mom, I was going to tell you today, but this happened. Who is he, by the way? Uh, Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Yeonjun. I'm Hari's boyfriend. He bowed, holding his bruised jaw, which was, of course, paining as hell after receiving a punch from Park Jimin himself. Wan smiled at the boy while Jimin scoffed at him, which went unnoticed by everyone. This must be paining a lot. Hari, bring ice pack for him and also bring a glass of cold water for your dad. He needs to cool down. Jimin looked at her with big eyes, but she only rolled her eyes. Wan made Yunjun sit on the couch while Jimin sat across them. Hari brought the ice pack and handed it to Ryan and gave the glass of water to Jimin, feeling really awkward as her dad was just witnessed her kissing. He gulped the whole glass in one shot, glaring at the boy in front of him, who hissed at the contact of ice pack with his bruised jaw. If only it could possible to burn someone with glass, then Yunjun would have turned into ashes with Jimin's glare. Hari looked at Yunjun with sorry eyes while he smiled at her assuringly. After applying ice pack on his jaw for about 15 minutes, Wan put it aside. Are you still feeling pain, dear? No, Mrs. Park, it's fine now. By the way, how long are you two dating? Almost 8 months. 8 months? The three figures flinched at his loud voice. You didn't feel the need to tell me about it, Hari? His loud voice made Hari sad that she made her father mad. Jimin, you need to calm down. How can I? They are dating for 8 months and didn't feel the need to tell us. And then what I am witnessing is this boy here was literally attacking on my daughter. Dad, he wasn't attacking. It was a mutual kiss with my consent. Hari's words made him silent. He puffed his cheeks and looked away. Sensing the situation, Yunjan got up from his seat, making Vayan and Hari got up too. I should leave now. It's quite late. Oh, and I totally forgot about one thing. He pulled out two bags from behind the couch. Hari told me today is your wedding anniversary, so this is for you. He handed both bags to Vayan as he doesn't have the guts to even look at Jimin, who was literally growling like a hungry lion. Vayan smiled at him. You don't have to do that. It's the little I can do. Please take it. Ryan took the bags from him and ruffled his hair, smiling at him. That's so sweet of you. He smiled back, blushing a little. Jimin, who was a mute spectator of all the situation, suddenly stood up, making the other three flinch. You are leaving? Come, I'll drop you off till outside. He said with a tight smile on his lips, which scared the hell out of Yunjun. Beds of sweat formed on his forehead, and he unconsciously covered his cheeks with his palms and shook his head. It's okay, Mr. Park. You don't have to bother. I'll go myself, he said, still covering his face. Fear was clearly visible in his eyes. No, no, let's go. I have something to talk to you. You can talk here, Dad. It's a man talk, Harry, between me and him. Yunjun's legs were shaking with fear. Harry was worried too. Both of them looked at Wayne with pleading eyes. Wayne understood their situation and turned to Jimmy. I hope you will only talk to him. Wyan said with a stern voice, glaring at Jimin, which made him nervous. Of course, I'll talk only. Wyan looked at Yunjin and smiled at him. Let us know when you reach home, okay? Yunjin smiled and nodded and went out with Jimin after bidding bye. After they left, Hari tugged on Wyan's arm and said, Mom, Dad will not hit him again, right? He will not, Hari. You know the power of your mom's words. Both the ladies chuckled. Hari hugged her mother tightly and said, Thank you, Mom, for accepting my relationship. Wine pulled back from the hug and kissed her cheeks. Of course I'll. After all, it's about your happiness and Yunjun seems to be a nice guy. Hari smiled but her smile dropped and she said with a sad pout just like her father. Mom, is Dad mad at me? I think he didn't like Yunjun. It's nothing like that, Hari. He's a little bit upset. Talk to him in the morning, he'll be fine. Wyan smiled at her warmly, which somehow relaxed Hari, and then she went to her bedroom to sleep. Wyan sighed and sat on the couch waiting for her husband. After about 15 minutes, Wyan heard the click sound of the door. She looked at her husband standing at the door. Done threatening the poor boy. He didn't say anything but just looking at her. Wine knew what was coming next. His once angry face became gloomy, eyes moistened, chin quivered, and a pout formed on his face. The welled up tears rolled down his eyes. He was looking damn cute. He sobbed like a baby, standing there waiting for Wine's move. Wine spread her arms, inviting him in her embrace. That's what he wanted. He wasted no time in running to her and cried, hiding in her embrace. Wine let him cry, knowing he wouldn't stop crying easily. Her one hand rubbed his back, while with the other she kissed his head. After getting pampered by his wife for about half an hour, he finally calmed down and sat straight facing Wine. My daughter grew up very fast, Wine. It feels like yesterday when she was whining for ice cream, and today she has a boyfriend already. She indeed grew up. Yunjan is quite a good guy. I think we can trust him with our daughter. Completely ignoring her words, he said, One day she'll get married to him, and then she left me. He again started crying, and Wyan said before hugging him again, She doesn't need me anymore. God, Jimmy, she has a boyfriend doesn't mean she doesn't need you. Nobody could ever take your place in her life. Vine was sitting beside Jimin with a bored expression on her face and a tissue box in her hand. Jimin was still crying, ranting about her daughter's childhood since 2 hours. Vine and obviously tired with the day's activities and now tired of with Jimin's ranting. Like, oh boy, come on. I'm her mother. I know about her childhood things. Why do you have to be so dramatic just because? Vine was cursing him in her mind for ruining her night's plan and now ruining her sleep also. Park Jimin, if only I didn't love you, I would have beaten you with a broom for ruining my romantic mood and my night's plan. Now see from tomorrow how will I make you beg for my hugs, my kisses and my touch. Vine said all those things in her mind while glaring at the man who was mourning at her daughter's dating life. Vine made a disgusting face when he took more tissues and blew his nose with it. And when Hari fell down while playing, she was crying for me. Now she doesn't need me. I am the saddest father in the world.